Receiving simulator transmission. Uploading transmitted feed. Initializing playback sequence. Alright Seipher, we're ready.
Hey everyone, Seipher here, and welcome back to Seipher Plays Kingdom Hearts. In the last episode, we completed every recipe of item synthesis, gearing Sora up with his ultimate weapon, Ultima weapon, and the whole party with a batch of crystal crowns. We then took on the final tournament of the Olympus Coliseum, the Hades Cup, where we finally took down Hades, finishing off Maleficent's cabal once and for all. This time, we find ourselves here at Neverland to check in on things, since it was the world closest to Hollow Bastion and thus the most vulnerable to the deluge of darkness that was unleashed when Hollow Bastion's keyhole was completed. Now, you can see here that we no longer have access to the clocktower, and I had warned about this. So let's pop on inside to see if we can figure out a way back to the clocktower. By landing here in the cabin, we see that Tink is here. We try and talk to her. Can't understand her. I'll bet Peter knows what she's saying. So that is your hint that we will have to swap Peter into the party, so I would recommend actually swapping Donald out, because Goofy with MP Gift is going to be a lot more helpful for what is going to be going on here. So, thank you for your help, Donald, but we should be fine. And you may notice that Peter's stats are a bit different from how we left him. This is because I traded off some of his equipment off screen to give him some more MP, as I feel that it is necessary. I would also like to point out that I've taken off his hummingbird and timeout because I want him to focus his MP on Storm's Eye, and basically put on every other ability that he has. Definitely going to be helpful. I would also recommend that you take off all of Goofy's basic attacks. I don't think he can actually use them in this coming battle, but if he can, I would rather him focus his attention on using his MP for MP Gift, because it'll be a lot more helpful to us. Additionally, to help with that, I have given him the Dream Shield over the Defender, as it gives him an additional MP over the Defender. Sure, it doesn't give as much attack, but I feel that it will be a lot more helpful. I would also recommend sticking any MP restoring items, ethers, elixirs, mega elixirs, and a few high potions, just in case, on yourself and your party, as you will be needing a lot of MP for what we've got coming up. After that, I would also recommend having Stopra, Kiraga, and either Thundaga or Blizzaga on your shortcut menu for what we're going to be doing today, as those spells will be very helpful, especially Stopra. It is pretty much the key to this coming fight. Now then, before we actually talk to Tink and see what's going on with her, I would like to quickly go over the Hades Cup rewards that we've got. So, let's start things off with the actual magic here. Blizzaga was the first thing that we got from defeating the Behemoth. It is just a typical upgrade for Blizzard, longer range, higher power, and the shotgun spread is a bit larger. Thundaga, basically an increase in the number of thunderbolts and the damage of said thunderbolts on Thundera, so pretty helpful. Thundaga we got from defeating Cerberus. Graviga, which we got from defeating Hades. Like gravity levels, it does a percentage of HP to the target and has gained a wider area of effect. Unfortunately, it isn't as potent since the events of Hollow Bastion powering up the Heartless actually increase their resistance to gravity, just to make it a little less broken. And then, in terms of equipment, Goofy actually got a new shield, the Genji Shield. This shield is a reference to a reoccurring piece of equipment in the Final Fantasy series. We got this from defeating Yuffie in Seed 44. The Genji Shield is generally a last resort upgrade for Goofy. If you somehow don't have the money for anything in Traverse Town's item shop, haven't gotten lucky in pulling the Defender's Shield, or haven't acquired Goofy's ultimate weapon from the time trial of the Hades Cup. It is a large shield and it does give a decent boost to strength, but I personally think that we'll be better off with the Dream Shield for this fight and Defender going forward until we get Goofy's ultimate weapon. In the final mix version, it had 10 strength, so it got a bit of a buff, but it was still the third best combat shield for Goofy in that game. Doesn't have much that sets it apart. And then Sora, from defeating Cloud and Leon in the 20th seed of the Hades Cup, got Lionheart. Squall provided his personal charm as a final hour weapon for us. Boasting a long reach, 10 strength, a 20% critical rate, and +1 max MP, it can be considered the best all-around Keyblade for the late game until you get Ultimate Weapon. It's also one of my personal favorites, just design-wise, and the particle effects it releases are basically just the same flames that Squall releases when he attacks you in Kingdom Hearts, so it's pretty interesting. I'd say if you haven't gotten Ultimate Weapon by this point and want to trade off Oathkeeper's string of critical blows and high crit rate for a longer reach, this is the Keyblade for you, especially if you have at least 2 critical pluses. Or maybe it's 3. I know that 1 critical plus doubles it, so that would get to 40. 2 would get this to 80. So if you have 3 critical pluses, definitely make use of Lionheart here, which I think you might if you're playing the Final Mix version, since one of the critical pluses was a reward for the Hercules Cup, but I digress. Last but certainly not least, we have a new ability for Sora. Trinity Limit. The final limit command is here and comes at a cost of 5 AP, actually a measly 1 in Final Mix, so that's an improvement. And at the cost of a minimum of 3 MP from Sora, will unleash a massive magic attack that consumes the entire party's MP to deal max MP times 5 plus 600% damage to nearby enemies, doing percentage type damage similar to gravity. I personally do not like this. Oh, and I guess it goes without saying, you need Donald and Goofy in the party to make use of this. So, honestly, it's nice for certain things, particularly in Final Mix, where there's a rare Heartless in the End of the World, the Neo Shadow, that it can be very helpful with, but generally, I'd rather not give up all my MP for 1 nuke, because if you don't manage to kill anybody with it, which I know it sounds powerful, but it is possible for enemies to survive this, I would say you're better off using your MP elsewhere. Anyway, with all that said, let's get to talking to Tink. What is it, Tink? You want to go to the clock tower? It's up to you, Sora. Let's go. Okay, let's fly together. Big Ben's bell tolls for thee. And honestly, this Reaper is here to collect. The Reaper here is the first super boss of the game, and it will be a rather difficult boss to deal with. Its main claim to fame is the spell Doom, which it will use on you rather often. The main way to get around this is to cast Stopra on the clock face's hands. Doing so preemptively will get him not to cast Stop on you, I don't think. Additionally, he has the main way to damage him is the colored orb under him. White is physical attacks, yellow is Thundaga, red is Firaga, and blue is Blizzaga. When he casts his spell Doom, the clock tower face will have will-o-wisps on it, and a counter will appear above a character's head.
Here. Fire. Fire. Ha.
When that counter reaches 0, the character is permanently removed from the fight, so you'll want to just sort of keep on top of casting stop on the clock.
Thunder. Take that.
So that you can occasionally just sort of deal with it. Aeroga is very helpful in this fight as it will help deal with the Phantom's projectiles. Really, this fight is just annoying because the Phantom moves around a lot. The key is just to constantly use Stopera on the clock face so that you don't lose your party members to the Doom, because once they're gone, they're gone. He'll always start with Peter Pan, then he'll move on to whichever of Donald and Goofy that you brought with you, so don't worry too much about it. However, if you do start losing them, you will find yourself a much greater target. His projectile, while it can be reflected by the Aeroga barrier, it is better to just sort of fly around the clock tower. And despite him not looking like the most devastating character, his stopping the clock hand will stop it for a full 60 seconds. So you can sort of keep on top of it. Really, this fight isn't that difficult, it just takes a long time because of the extenuating circumstances and the massive MP cost. Thankfully, with my setup for Goofy, he'll keep us topped off on MP, so we should be fine. And thankfully, the magic menu has memory, so we're pretty much set. Let's just do this. Okay, this is why I kinda hate fire. Its homing properties aren't all that great. And I think I'll just pop a Mega Ether. I will say that the Phantom he looks pretty cool. If he wasn't such an annoying boss fight, he'd probably be one of my favorites. And he does have a honestly better design in the final mix version. I mean, this is cool and all, but he has a white and black design in the final mix version that is so much better in my opinion. Thank you, Peter Pan. Okay, I don't know why I was missing so much. Thankfully, we're just about done. Really, this fight is just long and a bit tedious. Come on, get back here. And done. For quite a lot of experience. Attain the power of time. Stopra has been upgraded to Stopka. Yep, for chasing off the Phantom, we've got the final magic upgrade, Stopka. Like with all upgrades of Stop, it merely increases the area of effect of the spell. We've also reopened the clocktower permanently, meaning if you didn't get the clocktower doors before, now you have the ability to do so again, assuming that your in-game timer hasn't run out. With that, I want to quickly actually swap Donald back in place of Peter Pan, because I didn't actually notice this about Donald, but he rises by actually lifting his butt and twirling his tail feathers like a helicopter. That's a bit humorous, but I also now want to quickly leave here, because now that we have all the upgraded versions of spells, we want to head back to Merlin to show our progress with magic. Okay, so if we talk to him... Well, this is quite impressive. Here's something for your effort. Donald obtained Dream Rod. It's very special. Take good care of it. Okay, let's take a look at this. The final dream weapon has finally arrived, this time for Donald. Unlike the version from the Dive to the Heart, this staff boasts a powerful 8 strength, long reach, and boosts Donald's max MP by 2. It was a long weapon back in the Dive to the Heart, which I also just want to take a sec to say I kind of like how the 3 weapons not only represent what abilities you'll earn as you level up if you choose them, but they also represent the 3 reaches of weapon in the game, with the shield being short reach, the sword being medium reach, and the staff being long reach. But anyway, this is honestly a pretty good weapon for Donald. The only downside is that if you already have gone through the solo version of the Hades Cup, you likely have Donald's ultimate weapon, and because of how late it comes, this makes the Dream Rod rather lackluster. But hey, since I didn't do the solo version yet, the Dream Rod is a definite upgrade, just in terms of power for Donald's weapon, so we'll definitely put it on. However, if you are playing the final mix version, this is a real slap in the face, as the Dream Rod is obtained at the same time, but its stats got nerfed to heck. It lost its 8 strength and in place got 5 strength. It still boasts the same amount of MP, but it is now basically the original Wizard's Relic. The reason I feel that they did this is because the Wizard's Relic is such a rare drop from Wizard Heartless that you are probably not likely to have come across it without actively grinding for it. So I guess they wanted to make the Wizard's Relic a bit more of a potent reward if you do manage to get lucky, because even with 3 lucky strikes, the best chance that you will get it is 0.5% drop. So I guess I can kind of see the logic, but at the same time, I feel like maybe you could have given us Stopka or something a bit sooner, just so that it had a bit more oomph to it. Like maybe, or, maybe make it the reward for getting all 3 of the, not all 7 middle stages of these spells, but hey, what do I know? That would put it at after completing Neverland, where it would have been a decent boost, but oh well. That's a complaint for another day. Or really, probably not worth time going into. Anyway, with that, we have felled our first super boss and have gotten stronger. That said, now that there isn't any immediate danger in Neverland, and I don't think any other worlds are necessarily in danger, since they were further away from Hollow Bastion than Neverland was, I think we should return to Agrabah. With Jasmine safe but unable to return till Ansem is defeated, it would probably be best to let Aladdin know that she's doing alright. Next time, we'll fly out to the desert of Agrabah to do just that. I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, stay gold.
Playback sequence terminated. Transmission disconnected.